I'm now going to invite our third speaker today. And Taqwa, if you could put your camera on and start getting your presentation up while I introduce you. So Taqwa Binti Zaidi is a senior assistant director at the Department of Islamic Development Malaysia. So she's coming to us from very far afield. I'm going to ask her in a minute what time it is in Malaysia. I'm just curious. But her research interests are on Sharia, specializing on Usul al-Fiqh, principles of Islamic jurisprudence, and Islamic bioethics. And she's going to talk to us about Malaysia's experience in combating COVID-19 through the roles of religious authorities. So over to you, Taqwa. What time is it?
Thank you, Saria. It's now 10 minutes to 7.
Ooh, earlier in the morning as well.
Yeah.
No, late in the evening, isn't it?
Yeah. About half an hour before Maghrib.
Oh, okay, good. So let's have your presentation and let's see whether it works.
Okay.
Yes, we have it on screen. As usual, I will flash my colored cards to give you a sense of time. Over to you, Taqwa.
Thank you so much, Saria. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First, I would like to thank the organizer, Prof. Benz, and also the University of Wales Trinity St. David for inviting me to this international conference. And I think this is the beauty of having an online international conference, because we can have the real international geographically and with the time difference. And inshallah, so today I'll be speaking on religious authorities, their roles and responsibilities in combating COVID-19. And I think this is really sharing on experience, and it's not finding from any empirical research or proper research. But then I would like to highlight the roles and responsibilities of religious authorities in Malaysia. We know that COVID-19 affects our life, affect our health, and not only that, it's like a domino effect. We suffer a lot from economically and also socially, and as well as in terms of education and religious practices. And in Malaysia, if I can share this with you.
We can't hear anything, Taqwa. We can see it, but can't hear. And now we can't hear you. Okay. We can hear you.
All right. Okay. It's not until 18 March 2020 that the government imposed movement control order or lockdown. So since then, our life changed. I think everywhere in the world affected with the lockdown, suffer economically and socially, and here comes the rules of religious authorities to help to ensure the well-being of the communities, especially it's not only Muslims but also non-Muslims communities in this country. Governance of Islamic affairs in Malaysia. In Malaysia, we uphold Islam as the religion of federation, and so from there, Islam is institutionalized, and also there are lots of institutions at the federal and state level. So Malaysia practices dual system in managing Islamic affairs. So, landmark Putrajaya, where all the headquarters of ministries are located in Putrajaya. And on the left, if you can see here, the Putra Mosque next to the Prime Minister's office, just to take you to Malaysia. Okay, this is what I said just now, the federal and the state level. At each state, Each state has a Council of Islamic Affairs, an Office of the Mufti, and a Department of Islamic Affairs. And that one is at the states level. They have most of the jurisdictions of Islamic Affairs fall under the state's control. However, we still need institutions at the federal level to coordinate all the states. So we have here, if you can see on the left, 14 agencies and the Prime Minister's Department. Okay, not to go too long for this, I would like to highlight, when we talk about religious authorities, we know that there are lots of things to discuss, but for the purpose of this presentation, I'll just put them into 4 general points. I would like to highlight the roles, because religious authorities here are part and parcel of the government. So they have the expenses and they have the access to the community, even during the lockdown, or what we call it as movement control order. Okay, the first point is on awareness program. As I just now, as Marcus said about the conspiracy theories and that trigger Islamophobia, the case is different in Malaysia. There are a lot of hearsays, theories about this pandemic from the other parts of the world. So the government and religious authorities try hard to disseminate information about COVID-19. It is a real disease, and we cannot say, no, it's a theory, it's a conspiracy, and so on. No, it is a real thing that we need to face and prepare ourselves and protect ourselves and the families. So in this sense, the government, focusing on religious authorities, they use a lot of platforms to disseminate the information. Firstly, if you can see on the first point here, using electronic media. At the federal level, we have an institution called as TV Al-Hijrah. It is TV station under the Prime Minister's Department that used to disseminate information about this disease, about this pandemic, and how we can try to flatten the curve of the number of cases, which is now is growing up in Malaysia. The number is growing up now, and it's like a third wave in Malaysia. And also we do have other radio stations, Salam FM and IKIM FM. These platforms are used to convey the message. Realizing that young generations favor more on social media, so the government will also use the platforms of social media to for the same purpose, to disseminate the information, and also to deliver to let the public know the services that religious authorities provided for like people in need and so on. So I would like to highlight something here. Maybe this is in the interest of Prof. Ben's research. Our Minister of Religious Affairs was a Mufti before, and he has established, I would say, established social accounts like Instagram and Facebook, because he has quite strong followers, and it's like, if you can see here, 1.1 million followers, and he used this platform before to disseminate any Islamic rulings, Islamic rulings for any current issues. And now he used the same platforms to disseminate information about COVID-19, about the services that he can provide, and under the agencies under his supervision. And other than that, the common way is through publication. If you can see on the left, this is a book that has been digitalized, and you can get it through online. Yes, of course, this is common way, but this is easier for people to get information, and we have a lot of information like this. Oops, sorry. I did I stop my? Okay, no. Okay. Let me take you quickly to the second point on SOPs. What I mean here, the SOPs is standard operating procedures on the performance of religious obligations. This is what Dr. Ibrahim said just now, or like on about the congregational prayers, zakat, marriage, hajj, and even into up to the issue on handling disease. Prior developing any such SOPs, there will be a thorough research conducted by officers at Department of Islamic Development Malaysia and tabled to Sharia expert panel and also to the Fatwa Council at the national level. To say that this is process, the process to deduce any rulings using those methods of like usul fiqh to deduce Islamic verdicts or fatwas in terms of those religious obligations. Yes, we know that we have to obey to the SOP to have 1 meter away, 1 meter apart. So this happened as well in Malaysia. Unlike what Dr. Ibrahim said, the trend of unmosque. Here in Malaysia, people urge the government to open the mosque amid the growing number of COVID-19 cases. So just like how to highlight this picture, this is when the mosque was open. People are allowed to have a Jum'ah prayer. And of course with social distancing 1 meter apart, and not only people, the shoes also need to be 1 meter apart. Okay, so this is the way to ensure that even lots of people are allowed to come to the mosque, but the SOPs still need to be obeyed. Okay. Other than that, we can see from other religious duties like paying zakah, marriage, hajj, and handling disease. Paying zakah is not so much affected, but people ask how to pay zakah when mosque is closed. So they utilize digitalization initiative by doing it through QR code rather than go to the mosque or rather than meet in person, but just click for with a few clicks, then you can pay your zakat. Please don't scan this QR code. It's just a picture. Okay, like even marriage ceremony, nikah ceremony, akad. We do have a system of online application for marriage, but during the pandemic, everyone need to stay at home, and you can't have a ceremony. So, how if there are couples would like to still to have a marriage ceremony? The alternative is on do it via nikah online. I think Dr. Mansur Ali will talk later about this, and I think the same Islamic rulings used, maybe the differences on context. The other one is on Hajj. We have an institution at the federal level to manage the pilgrims. Every year they organize courses for the pilgrims to be to prepare themselves for Hajj. But then during this pandemic, since early of this year, at that time we didn't know whether Saudis allowed us to go to Mecca or not. So Tabung Haji, the institution, organized online courses for the pilgrims to be to prepare themselves. I think this is interesting because this is how we prepare our pilgrims. Even we still don't know whether we can go to Mecca or not. So this is the way they use, utilize technologies to ensure the delivery system for the society is still being carried out in whatever situation. The last point on this one is about handling disease. We know that handling disease is under the responsibility of healthcare providers in Malaysia. But then, because we have well-trained teams to handle high-risk disease, so like this, we have at the federal level, we have about 70 personnel to help the hospital to handle the disease affected with COVID-19. Here I put the link in. I don't know if we have time, so maybe later if you want to see this link. This is not the help. Here are
We can't hear you, Taqwa, when the video is on.
go back to the
Yes. Yes, we can hear
the
you now.
presentation.
And
Okay.
Taqwa, you have about 5 minutes.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay, I'll go quickly. The third point is on vaccination to encourage Muslims and the society to vaccinate. So, as Michael said just now, issue on halal, it happens in Malaysia as well. So, the Fatwa Committee decided that the use of COVID-19 vaccine is permissible, and to convey this message, they use the platform of like I said just now, electronic media. Like they have put 9 panelists together from different backgrounds. They are the experts to talk about vaccination and to what extent vaccine is important. Okay. Actually, producing any fatwa or Islamic verdicts on vaccine is not rare, because Malaysia, via Fatwa Committee of National Council for Islamic Religious Affairs, before there's a decided about more than 5, I think about 8 vaccination. So this is within the experts of the scholar. So it's not something alien to talk about vaccination from Islamic perspectives. And the last point on support and assistance. In Malaysia, other than under the federal agencies, there are about 3 agencies that responsible to manage the Islamic social finance, like zakat, waqaf, endowment, and also sadaqah, charity. So these funds manage strategically to provide support and assistance to the people in need. Like this, if you can see the prepared food bank for people, because a lot of people suffered from this pandemic, and we know that people really need help, and then here authorities play the role to give the best for the communities. We can see lots of distribution given through the Islamic social finance here for like giving business funds and home building and repairing projects. And you can see I wouldn't go too much here. Just I would like to highlight in terms of financial. We have a squad to proactively search for the asnaf. But then during the pandemic, they provide an app to. This is in Malay. This app is to help people to report. If you know any people in need, so just put the report in this app. So the authority can go find those people and give their hand to help those people in need. And the other point in terms of support and assistance is in terms of education. Lots of people have problem to access internet, and we do have online classes for the children and for the Islamic subjects. So what they do is to put it in the television, because television is something common and everyone has it at home. So they put the syllabus and have the classes online through TV Al Hijrah, and this is the way, one way, I say one way for religious authorities to help people to ensure that the learning process is still being given to the children. And the last one is on counseling. Lots of people suffered from this pandemic and suffered from mental health. So one of the alternatives is to provide counseling through online media, and up to 24th June, there are 292 cases reported, and the counseling was given through phone calls, emails, WhatsApp. So these are the ways that they utilize in terms of using technology and digitalization initiatives, and also the internet to ensure that the delivery system of religious authorities in Malaysia is still being given to the society in whatever way and whatever means. So up to here, I think I end my presentation. Sorry, yeah.
Thank you, Taqwa, and apologies for having to cut you short. And I also don't know why the technology didn't work. Teams is a tough time today, but thank you very much for explaining to us, the Malaysian response and some synergies, but also this more ethical approach to actually caring and people and meeting their everyday well-being needs. So thank you. I'm sure there'll be questions